centre. Oh, this could be an opening. The man who wants to have the opening. It's Lawrence Shackleton. That is the moment. The moment that matters.
Welcome back, everyone, to Hearts on Sleeves podcast, a podcast that is all about Heart of Midlothian Football Club, its fans, and all the ups and downs we experience on the way, both on and off the pitch. The first thing I actually want to talk about is the. Did anyone read the quote or hear the quote from Brendan Rodgers after the game? Right, I need to read this to you. Celtic is a club. The DNA is about playing football, and we'll never lose that. When we play to that identity, Hearts, you can see, it's totally different. It's a different DNA here. The ball's direct, the supporters love that. It's a second ball fight. It's set pieces, all that. Celtic hasn't become winners in that way. Our DNA is to play a fast, attacking game of football. My question is, what the fuck is he blethering about? Like, what does any of that mean? Like, I feel he's like having a go at us, but I don't know if it's coming across in any way that could be seen as remotely offensive, or is he trying to compliment his own team? I have no idea.
Look, I don't think he's ever been renowned for his self-awareness or his humility, has he?
I feel like he's come out with a lot of strange quotes this season, and I think it's partly because, he's going to start getting under a bit of pressure, and I'm not sure he's that desperate to really be at Celtic at the moment. So I think he's just starting to kind of deflect from, I think he's starting to make excuses and deflect from the result in some ways.
And by contrast, did you see after the match, Derek, I'll just first name terms now, that's how much I love him, Derek McInnes, doing properly, pointing to the pitch and being, this is our pitch, this is our fucking pitch, all this kind of thing. That's the contrast of the two managers, and that's the two different moods of the camps right now. It just feels, I mean, if you've been on social media, then you'll know just the temperature check of both clubs right now. How's everyone feeling about just where we are right now, and what does everyone think about just how Celtic played and how they're coming across and so forth?
I think they're rotten defensively. Like, their whole defence was terrible.
I think what's happening as well is they've obviously got a few injuries, but in the past, even with a few injuries, you'd expect Celtic to still be a lot stronger than that. And you're seeing, obviously, like Murray came in and made like big mistakes. So I think, I don't think they've got a strong squad overall. They've obviously got some really good players, but I think you're seeing a big difference in terms of their backup. I'd actually have more confidence in our backup at the moment, to be honest.
The thing is, they played that Murray guy head of like a £6 million centre back they signed or something like that. Trusty.
Yeah.
Weird.
Couldn't be trusted.
Oh.
But I mean, to be fair, right, I hear what you're saying, and I just think that I was just thinking this after the game. This will be the weakest Celtic team will play this entire season. I think that's probably safe to say. But that's not going to be our strongest team that we'll have out this season as well. So, I do think our next game, obviously, that'll be in December against Celtic at Parkhead. I don't doubt that'll be a more difficult match. But I do think that will probably be the weakest Celtic team we'll play this season. However, as you say, their depth is just so sorely lacking. They're going to need to invest in, I mean, obviously we know about the injury to Carter Vickers and so forth. They're going to have to make some pretty significant investments in that team, even just for depth.
Yeah, I fear that they will. Obviously, it's great that we spanked them, but they're, like John was saying, their frailties have really come to the forefront. And I think they've got money, and I think they will spend in January, because I think that Hearts running away with the title is really going to scare the folk on the board, and that they're not going to want to just let us run away with it. I don't think they're going to spend.
We do have them again in like 5 or 6 weeks as well.
Mm-hmm.
So they might have some players back by then, but they're not going to be that much stronger the next time we play them. If we could go to Parkhead and play a team like that, I think we'd be favourites at the moment.
Honestly, I think that the competition we're providing them with at the moment is probably one of the best things that could actually happen to Celtic. Because could you see if they were just running away with it as they normally would, they would have happily, I'm sure, maybe probably would have got a couple of players in December. But I'm pretty sure Celtic's board would have just happily trotted on with, just bare minimum signings. But now they're going to have to properly invest, which is obviously not ideal for us. But this is what we're going to have to expect. And at the same time, we know that we're bringing in some more players. We know of Chesnikov. And John, you mentioned that Dale talked about some additions coming in January. What was it? Can you remember roughly what the wording he said was?
I think it was something along the lines of we've got one or two things lined up for January.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I don't know if that includes Chesnikov or doesn't, whether it's someone else.
What a tease.
So, I do appreciate Celtic will obviously have a lot of money to spend in December. You have to assume the board are going to invest substantially in the January transfer window. I guess the thing that makes me feel not at ease, but a bit more confident about what will transpire in January is their summer signings under Rodgers have been kind of a bit of a non-event. There's obviously you've got in Tierney and who came on the free, and he's still obviously a talent, but the ones they paid money for, there's just not a huge amount there. So I guess the question I'm putting towards folk is, how concerned or otherwise are you about when Celtic have money to spend, and indeed teams like Rangers as well, in the January transfer window?
I think it depends how good we are as well, though. If players are looking at Celtic going, if we're still top and maybe they're a bit behind us, like, it's not only a title fight, but they've got to think about Champions League and stuff like that next year. They could be like, well, I might get guaranteed Champions League football somewhere else.
Yeah, I think there's how much will we strengthen. I also think our track record from the summer is much better than theirs. So there's no guarantee if they spend big that they're bringing in guys who are going to instantly change them. I've got more faith at the moment in the signings that we'll make because I think we've got a system in place with the analytics. So obviously it's a concern that they go out and spend tons of money, but that doesn't necessarily guarantee that they're not going to, that they're all going to gel instantly and they're suddenly going to be a brilliant team. Especially Rangers. I would have no faith in Rangers bringing in guys at the moment.
Yeah, I'm more excited about the prospect of our signings being brought through with the analytics and stuff than you can imagine Celtic splashing out on a big name player and it just no guarantee it's going to work. But I think with us, I feel that when we're looking to strengthen, we will strengthen, whereas they'll sort of spend money and it's a bit more of a gamble for them, I think.
One thing that McInnes also mentioned was just all we can do at the moment is concentrate on ourselves. He knows fine well they're going to invest in January. And at the moment, the way I'm sort of seeing it is that we've got all we can do right now to try and compensate or have a fail-safe for their expenditure and signings that will inevitably bring in. This is not just Celtic, by the way, Rangers, Aberdeen, Hibs, maybe not Aberdeen, but perhaps Hibs and so forth as well, is just to rack up as many points as we possibly can whilst other teams are doing poorly. Now, let's have a wee look at the game itself. Before I do that, can you think of the last time Hearts beat Celtic and Rangers in the same season?
Burley era?
No, it's a bit after that.
I think I saw someone online saying like under Jeffries or something like that. I think there was but then someone said it might be a cup game and a league game or something.
Can you guess the season?
Nah, I don't know.
11-12.
Correct. Well done, Trotter. 11-12. So you're right. It was Jeffries and Sergio. Well, no, I suppose what would have been Jeffries was until 1st of August.
He was only there for couple of games at the start of the season.
So it would have been both under Sergio, and it was, let me have a quick look at results. So yeah, in that one we beat Celtic at home 2-0 and then Ibrox away 2-1. Starting lineup, yet again we went for the same 11. I suppose the only sort of thing to note was that Ajo came onto the bench. Anything else about the lineup people were interested in or excited about?
How did Ajo look when he came on? Because I've only been seen highlights, so I've not really seen how he got on.
He had a chance at one point.
Mm-hmm.
He obviously got into a good position. It's hard. I was hoping he was going to. I don't think he could have maybe scored, but he didn't have that much time on, and I think you could say that he got into the position at least.
Mm-hmm.
It looked like a good save, to be fair. With
It did,
Smith.
yeah.
I mean, I think in terms of the actual starting lineup, I don't think there was any doubt at all that we were going to have the same lineup, really. I don't think you had anyone really arguing to change it. So yeah, I think Ajo being on the bench is probably well, he came in for John's favourite player.
Mm-hmm.
John was pretty disappointed at the time when he saw Alan Forrest wasn't on the bench. But you've got to make way for your record signing. So
someone has to make way, I suppose.
yeah. So there's there's maybe sacrifices along the way this season as we go for the title. So
I suppose the other thing that I want to mention is Borchgrevink. I kind of thought he might go on the bench, but
I was just going to ask about him.
Yeah, nowhere to be seen, unfortunately.
Was he actually fit and available then? And we went for McCart and Steinbender instead.
He was training, so the assumption kind of was that he'd be available to play, but just I guess he's either didn't pass a late fitness test or he just thought he was happy with what he had.
I mean, he has just come back from injury. Obviously, I think we'll see him very soon.
We saw him a wee bit during League Cup games and so forth. He looked fine. I think it was
as well, yeah.
Oh, that right enough, yeah. How did he look in that game? Can you remember?
Pretty average, to be honest. Decent, but nothing spectacular. I'm not sure if he gets back in though. Just now, obviously well fit. Even though McEntee's not right back, I think he's playing pretty well. So it'd be kind of harsh to drop him.
Might take a suspension because obviously there's going to be a couple of guys that'll get suspended, I reckon, in the next few weeks. You need 6 bookings. I think we've got guys on 4 or 5 already. So I think a suspension will happen at some point, and then that'll get Borch back in, right?
Where do you think who drops out for Borch? I mean, I know McEntee's playing it right back, but do we put him in midfield and drop one of Benny or Cammy? And obviously, Ajo, when he's fit enough, if he's going to start, totally changes that midfield, or could do anyway.
So a good question, to be fair, because where does McEntee fit in if he is seen as a midfielder? Because obviously even Magnuson's been playing in the middle as well, so it's going to have to be a question.
Good problem to have at the moment.
Yeah, definitely.
It's like I was looking at the team, one of the teams from the Burley era when he was still manager, and our bench is just atrocious. I mean, absolutely terrible. And when you look at the squad we have now, it's pretty incredible that we've even got a debate over who gets on the bench, like Borch. How many times have you got decent guys not even getting into the squad, and we've got 20 players in the squad. Back then it would have been 17, 18 players or whatever. So it's definitely a good. It's good that we're even debating who gets on the bench.
Who else was missing? Or who's not on the bench? Who's been left out?
Khartoum, if we still count him. Neuenhoff, he's injured. Neuenhoff and Kent injured. Wilson, Forrest, Khartoum, and Borch. I think that's it. The ones that weren't in the squad. Plus about 5 goalies.
So as far as sort of Benny and Devlin, in regards to Ajo coming in, I think that's just a horses for courses kind of thing. I think there's going to be a time and place for all of them. At the moment, it's good because Devlin and Benny are working really well together. Despite some having some trepidations about how they would work together and how they did work together at times last season, they've been amazing so far this season. So there's no, even though Ajo's clearly a record signing, I expect him to get into the starting 11 just on the basis of that fact. He's still going to have to work his way into there, because why would we change anything if we're doing as well as we are, you know?
I think just the idea of having a Brazilian midfielder is so bloody exciting. I just want him to get in there. Just it's like a total it's like a FIFA or Football Manager sign or something. It's like, what's a random awesome Brazilian midfielder doing in that team? Get him in.
I think we'll see him start in the next 3 or 4 games.
I mean, just I guess we're kind of getting ahead of ourselves a wee bit here because I'm talking about the St Mirren game, but we've got 3 games in sort of really quick succession. What it's like, we had one yesterday, which Sunday, Wednesday, and it's another one on Saturday, right? So I think this will be the first time we see our lineup change, and I wouldn't be surprised to see some changes for the game on Wednesday. Ajo could well be one of them. You never know.
Like, it may be more likely to maybe stick more so as we've done for Wednesday, and then sort of see who comes out of that fully fit. Because I think Dundee probably the easier game on paper, the two of them at home as well.
I'd go with John. I think you stick to the same team away at St Mirren.
Right, so let's talk about the goals. I think man of the match would be Dane Murray. Are we all agreed on that?
Aye, that was some finish.
One of the worst own goals you'll ever see.
It was an absolute beauty, wasn't it?
He had a really poor game as well. Like even from just seeing the highlights, I thought he was murder. He looked. Anytime I saw him look up to make a forward pass, it went back to Schmeichel, and this was just from highlights. I was thinking, I mean, he's probably shorn of confidence after that, but I mean, this was like the whole game. He just didn't look a player at all. Felt bad for him, but you know, not that bad.
Every one of our goals can be put down to him in some shape or form.
Mm-hmm.
So for the third one, it's a bit of a I think we're being a bit harsh on him for that third one.
Is this us going in the wrong order again with the goals?
Yeah, but look, I like to skip ahead.
Every week I'm going to tune out for this part. I get confused. It's like third goal, first goal.
All right, I tell you what, we'll just go in chronological order.
What do you think? Back me up, right? Don't you think that you go first goal, second goal, third goal?
Right, okay. We'll start with the first one. 8 minutes it took us to get the first goal, and we were just absolutely all over them. My concern about this game was just that it was going to be another one of those ones where we do start off a bit slow, but that was just blown out of the water. We were phenomenal in those opening 10 minutes. And yeah, so it was Braga, he sort of headed towards, I thought it was in.
Excellent save.
It was a fantastic save. And I was kind of still busy celebrating, or sort of half celebrating, because I thought it was in. And then by the time I sort of realised, oh, that wasn't a goal, it was actually a goal. So it was, it's a bit of a bizarre one, but it was to credit Schmeichel, that was a phenomenal save by him.
Yeah. But
couldn't keep out Dane Murray's cool finish from the goal line. But
it was so bad. Like I don't know what he was. You know when it comes off you, like someone hits it into you, and that you get an own goal, sort of trying to clear it. So it was just bad, really bad.
I think he was trying to kick it right, and it kind of came off his shin instead. I think that's what happened.
He must be right-footed because that.
Yeah, he was trying to blast it clear though, and it was nowhere near his actual foot, and it just whacks off his leg. And I mean, at the time, like I thought I was seeing things. I wasn't even 100% sure what happened, and then the announcer said it was a Shanklin goal. So I don't think anyone was that sure about what happened.
I think Shanks wheeled off like he'd scored it as well, so that's what folk were thinking. But it was one of those moments when I was thinking I'd have done better in that position, which we all say about football. But I would have cleared that, no problem.
And all we needed to do was keep cool heads for the next 5 minutes. But lo and behold, I think that's pretty much their first attack, wasn't it? I don't remember them getting another shot before then.
I don't think they did, but that was some goal as well. That's why I was working, right, so I wasn't watching it. But just watching back through the highlights again, that goal was so well worked, and it looked like properly confident. So if I'd been watching that live, I would have been thinking, shit, they found their feet, they know what they're doing. If they can play like that, then it's just going to be like they could take it, but they just never really got into that like rhythm again, particularly with attacking. I thought they were all right for the rest of the first half, to be honest with you. But really good goal from them.
One of the sort of key moments for me was when it's towards the end of the first half, Schwolow did the most Craig Gordon-esque thing by doing a shit kick out straight to one of their players, then pulling off a remarkable reaction save. And I just thought, if we managed to get ourselves a Craig Gordon regen, I just absolutely love his passion. He's exciting to watch, and he's a bit of a bomb scare. And I kind of like that about players. You never really know what you're going to get next. But yes, he's got
Like
enough
one of these
quality
goalies
to
that
make
could
up.
come up and take a free kick or something, or get a goal.
Yeah, totally.
Or 1-0 down, and he comes up and scores in injury time and celebrates. I can totally see that at some point.
You talk about like Schwalow's character, like after making that save and stuff, he's so animated. But that's right across the board. Like that's what like when we're talking about all this passion stuff, it looks like people really enjoying playing for the club. Like all the teams seem to be really like geeing up the fans, like everything, and it's just great. It just shows such like team spirit, and that's why I'm so optimistic. That's part of it. The mentality stuff is going to be huge for us.
And if you listen to Open Goal with Derek McInnes, one of his big things on that was like when they were interviewing all the players, and they were completely looking at the character. So there was guys they turned down on the basis of character rather than ability. So I think it's intentional that we've got guys like Braga, Kizaridis, Schwolow, all these guys who, have a lot of character. I think that's a deliberate it's a deliberate decision. So I think it's paying dividends in terms of like, obviously when we're winning, players are more popular, but there's something even more than that in terms of like the absolute enthusiasm from all the players we've signed so far.
Imagine Derek McInnes interrogating you about your character. That'd be fucking terrifying. He's one of these people that you can't imagine like holding a puppy or something,
So it took us 8 minutes in the first half to get a first goal. In the second half, it only took us 7 minutes. Kizaridis, what a goal. Adam, because you fancy him, talk us through it.
It was kind of like, I think he said it in the interview after, but when he was coming into the box, I think the goalie and everyone pretty much expected him to go for the far corner of the goal. So he kind of mixed it up a bit and went for the inside corner. And yeah, and I think that's kind of what deceived the goalie. And I reckon we're going to get a good, 15 goals plus out of him this season. Is that unrealistic?
This year, more like.
Yeah, I think he just looks absolutely amazing. So yeah, definitely my favorite, definitely my favorite player so far.
For the Kizaridis goal, Murray just, for some reason, he kind of when you see it on slow motion, Murray kind of steps out the way of the shot. Now, I don't know if this is because he thinks Schmeichel's got it, or just if he's worried that if it deflects off him, it'll go into his own goal. But you can see Schmeichel go mental at him afterwards for it. So yet again, we've got Murray to thank for, in some shape or form, for that goal.
It was
Yeah,
that
however-
angle, wasn't it? The angle where you're sort of behind Kizzy, facing the goal, and then you see, like, it didn't look like it like so bad from the other angle, but like, he's had a shocker there. It's like he was moving his arm to stop like a handball or something for almost no reason. That kind of flinch just let the ball in. It was
yeah, he
know.
deliberately moves it away. I don't actually, can't even for a second think of what he's. Maybe he saw what happened with the first goal. He was worried he was going to touch it and blast it into the net. So
No, to be fair, that's what I was thinking. I was wondering if he thought it was going to deflect off him, so he was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, that's what I thought.
that's the only thing I can think is like he's trying to avoid an own goal or putting off Schmeichel. But very strange one.
next goal scorer.
To be honest, when you've got Kizaridis setting a shot at you, you just get out of the way. He's just admiring how good a shot it was. Letting it go in.
Back to Murray and all the goals he helped us get. We can sort of point the finger at him for the Kizaridis one, but we can definitely point the finger at him for the penalty, because I mean, to me, there's no question about the penalty. I would say Braga makes the most of it. But at the same time, it's a foul. I don't think there's any question about that. It's a foul. It's a foul in the box. It's a penalty.
Absolute stonewaller.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, how did you feel about Shankland lining up to take it? I don't feel. I guess I'm slightly more confident than I was, but I'm not nearly as confident as I used to be. You know, when you originally started taking them, you literally be celebrating before he'd even picked up the ball to take the penalty. But yeah, how are you all feeling? Were you expect it to go in?
I was last season I wouldn't have been confident, but this season the way things are going, I didn't have much doubt at all. What about you, John?
To be fair, I still felt a bit nervous. I think because of the game more than anything, though. Like, obviously, it was an important goal because it kind of sets us ahead by 2. But yeah, I mean, it's one of those penalties. If he hits something like that all the time, like if he smashes it like that, then if the keeper saves it, it's a good save. It's not a bad miss.
Like, unbelievable. I could just listening to it, just hearing that maze, man, and I was still bloody at work, and I was trying not to just scream it. The chef, who's a jambo, I'm pretty sure he could be heard into the cafe to maintain a bit of decorum. But yeah, amazing. Didn't seem real. 3-1 against Celtic.
Celtic, I don't think so. They had a shot, I think maybe about sort of 38th minute or something. You know, that one that Shvalov made the great reaction save. I don't think they got another shot on target until about 70th minute. We controlled that game just brilliantly. They did have a couple of efforts. One shot by McCowan was pretty close. And again, they had another shot from roughly that range. I think was it Shin Yamada from similar sort of range, but just went wide again. There was one attack. No, there was one shot towards the end. Shin was lining up to take it, and Halkett. Must have been. I think we're into injury time at this point. And Halkett just lunged in to stop the shot. And if he'd taken it, it would have. I'm certain it would have been a goal, or would have needed, a phenomenal save. But absolutely astonishing bit of defending from Halkett right towards the end. The fact we're just sort of throwing, they were throwing absolutely everything at us in the last few minutes, or everything they could do. But again, we just didn't really. They weren't offering a huge deal because we just managed to deal with everything so well. Before I talk about the highlights of the match, there was a couple of moments I thought, the areas that we might want to work on. I'm still thinking there were points where I do think, in that first half, they were clearly directing their attack down towards McEntee. It still just feels an area that we're not 100% confident with, but still we dealt with it pretty well throughout most of it. Was there any sort of bits you were concerned about, or bits of play that you might think McInnes would want to work on?
I mean, me and John were saying quite a bit in the first half about just what you said about Target and McEntee. I think it's the first time I've really noticed that happening. In terms of like one sort of them obviously trying to identify a weak spot. I just felt like they kept getting the ball through to that area. I don't know if there's anything else that particularly. I mean, I thought after they scored, they had a good spell.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I wouldn't say there was. After that, I think we kind of got back on top. I wouldn't say I was particularly worried other than that spell to go.
I suppose we mentioned earlier, but just the fact we switched off and allowed them to get an equaliser within 5 minutes of scoring, it's not on, quite honestly, especially due to the fact we've been doing so well in those first 10 minutes or so. But again, the reaction from that and the fact we didn't concede, even though we know how much. I think McGregor, I do want to mention as well, because it's just an interesting I just think it's really interesting the way watching McGregor throughout that game. He seems to be. I kind of thought maybe he's a player who's still not got the same ability. I think he still has that level of ability, but it just became so abundantly obvious to me he just doesn't have the players around him anymore to really
Yeah.
create much. And it really felt at times he was really dragging them up. It's kind of, if you imagine them, just sort of him dragging the rest of the team by the collar throughout. I mean that first half, but even in the second half, he just seemed to be able to completely unable to influence play at all. And yeah, I think that's more about the quality around him rather than the individual itself, which is quite telling and damning of that Celtic team, to be honest.
What the hell's happened to Rio Hatate as well? I would
know.
have last year. I would have identified him as a dangerman, but mince.
The only two that really kind of continue to cause, I do think sort of Tierney had a pretty decent game by and large. Engels, did he do much in the game? I don't really recall him doing a huge deal.
Did he go for a lot of money there as well?
Well, it was like over 10 million, wasn't he?
Yeah, thought so.
I mean, I don't want to focus too much on Celtic because obviously we had a fantastic game. And before we talk about how I really think the crowd played a huge part in just. McInnes mentioned before the game how much he wanted and how important the crowd was to us getting performances at Tynecastle. And I really feel that we did our part in that game. But before we come on to 12th man, I want to talk about a bit more about our team. Who was a standout to you, or who were the standouts to you, John?
Obviously, Gazrides. Just every time he got the ball, looked like something was going to happen. And probably Halkett and Devlin now too. I think Halkett just went for everything solid the whole game, looked comfortable on the ball, and Devlin just. I think the fact he was just there to wind up McGregor, it worked perfectly.
Did Cammy get man of the match?
I think he did.
He did.
But yeah, he was standout.
Yeah, I think him and Devlin and Benny together were just absolutely brilliant. That's one of the best pairings of them I've seen throughout the season. Are phenomenal together. Any standouts for you, Adam?
I think Kizaridis obviously was brilliant. I guess apart from one guys that John have mentioned, I think Schwalov deserves a bit of a shout.
Mm-hmm.
I think he made some decent saves. Thought Shanklin did well. I think Shanklin did a lot of work.
Mm-hmm.
But I think John's covered the main ones like Devlin and Kizaridis. I think we're seeing the improvement from Devlin this season has been amazing.
Mm-hmm.
He's always been a decent player, but I think he's looking so much better than he's been before. And like Benny, like you said, Benny did so much. Yeah, it's funny. I always think it's funny how Benny and Devlin were seen as this partnership that would never work, and suddenly they're with us as we're top of the league, 8 points clear. And I think John and I discussed it at the game, but obviously I think it's because we've got a different team around them. And in this I think in a winning team, they're brilliant. I think it's hard when you're struggling for goals, you're struggling for wins. It's hard having Benny and Devlin together. But I think in this side, it's been amazing to see how well they're doing together. Because I think at the start of the season, everyone was saying, "Oh, we can't have Benny and Devlin together anymore."
I think on that as well, it's like something we all spoke about, and we said that maybe having someone else in there who's a bit more technical would work alongside them, but I feel like they seem to have brought that part of the game into it now.
Yeah, they're more technical, aren't they, than they were before? Yeah. Some of the stuff they're doing, I don't think we'd seen quite that level from them.
The other thing I sort of noticed during the game was when Steinwender came on, I was kind of thinking to myself, he seems a more natural, sort of from a defensive point of view, right back to McEntee, but he seemed a bit sort of iffy on the ball when he came on. There's a point when he passed back, did a sort of hospital pass back to Shvalov, end up going for a corner. I'm just wondering if he's still not quite match confident more than anything. He seems like he's still a fairly solid player when I've seen him, but maybe he's just, yeah. I'm just kind of trying to wonder why he's not getting in the head of McEntee, and just little moments like that makes me realise perhaps McEntee's just that wee bit more confident more than anything. Did anyone else spot that?
Yeah, it was awful. But I think Steinwender was signed as a centre back, wasn't he? So I don't think he's ever meant to have been a right back. Whereas I think McEntee's obviously played there before.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. Maybe it's something to do with that. Maybe he just isn't comfortable, being there. Or maybe he's better in like a back three. Where he's
Yeah,
like
I think that's probably it.
Yeah, I definitely think centre back's meant to be his main role.
Mm-hmm.
So I think maybe you put the guy at right back, who's sort of favoured in the team. But so like obviously McEntee's the guy that McInnes likes at the moment. So it might be harder for Steinwender to get in the right back if it's not his favoured position. Especially when you've got Borch about to come in, potentially. But no, that pass was an absolute shocker.
It was.
I don't know what he was even thinking for that. I thought it was going to be a goal for a second. It was that much. It was like a shot.
Yeah.
He had like over 6 corners put on his bet, I think.
Coming back to the crowd, I think that was one of the best atmospheres I've been at for some time, out with the derby. Just considering it as a midday kickoff, just the crowd were absolutely behind the team. I think maybe just there's this spell after Celtic scored when we weren't, things died down a wee bit. The best part was when we all did the Poznan, like at the hour mark, which is a
We did not.
a ridiculously ballsy thing to do at that time.
To shithousery,
doing-
brilliant.
It was incredible, wasn't it?
Me and Adam were just sitting there shitting ourselves.
Oh, we were. What was funny about the game though was everything was telling me like Hearts are big favourites for this game. We're gonna win it, but there's still that element of like, I think all the worries are coming from just the Celtic historically being so good, but even though I felt like logically we were 100% going to win that game, there's still something that makes you panic a little bit. So me and John were standing there saying, "Oh, it's too early. Who knows what's going to happen? Oh no, they could come back." Even though I didn't actually think that was going to happen, but
Shite bags.
I know. Jamie's the least anxious of us all.
Oh yeah, sure.
But no, it was amazing. I mean, the celebrations this season, like you're just like we're hugging everyone in sight. Like we're hugging guys next to us who've been next to us for years, and suddenly you're hugging everyone because it's just like it's been absolutely brilliant. The celebrations are getting better and better. I think with every single match, every time we win a match, it's every game I'm getting more nervous, but also more excited at the same time. And every celebration of every goal is getting better each week.
Even at the end, like when the players are doing the lap after, like, the atmosphere's still class at that point.
Yeah, everyone's still there, aren't they?
I mean, remember no, let's not talk about last season, but last season there were like 10 people. Everyone would be staying behind to boo last season. But yeah, it's just been brilliant. It's nice to see Devlin also staying on the pitch until the end every week to get the praise he deserves.
I do get what you mean though about feeling anxious and stressed about the game, even though we had it under control. But you just think if Celtic were in a St Mirren strip or a Falkirk strip, something like that, you wouldn't feel anywhere near the level of anxiety because we really did have a good control of that game. So just some of the stats for you. The one interesting one was that Celtic had 65% to our 35% possession. That's quite an interesting one. We did seem quite happy to let them have the ball, but I also think a lot of that is because we took a 3-1 lead. With still, half an hour of the game to go at least. So inevitably they're going to get a lot of the ball. We're just going to kind of lay off for a bit. But we had more shots. We had more shots on target. For example, we had 12 shots to their 8, 7 of which of ours were on target, just 2 of theirs. I mean, the stats were pretty much all in our favour. Corners, they had more. But yeah, it was a very controlled, confident performance against Celtic. And one of the best games against them I've really ever seen. Before we move on to our usual loan watch and the previews, we'll touch on St Mirren. I do appreciate people who are listening to this may well have already seen the St Mirren match, but we will touch on it briefly and then preview the Dundee game. Before I do that, my dad emailed in, and I do want to read it out because he touches on one of our favourite episodes with Davey, and he also talks about the game itself. So just quickly read through that. And he said, "Hi to all the team. I heard Davey Wilson on a podcast a couple of weeks back. I have a lot of admiration and respect for the way he coped with extreme adversity and the loss of his wife and son. If you're listening, Davey, all the best to you and your family. We're from the same vintage of long-suffering Jambos, and I thought it'd be good to share a few memories of my own from bygone days, but we'll save that for another day. For now, I want to linger in the present just a bit longer and bask in the warm glow of Sunday's result. It was one of the best performances I've seen from a Hearts side, and I'm very glad I did see it, courtesy of my Sky one-day pass, but I'm not so sure my next-door neighbour will share the sentiments. Her normally quiet and restrained neighbour temporarily mutated into the noisy neighbour from hell. It was a seismic result from which confirmed what we all knew. The new era of McInnes and Bloom has well and truly arrived. Yes, there's a long way to go, but the hope and optimism has never been higher. There's much admired in the performance, a team of heroes with standout performances from Shanklin and Kizaridis amongst others, and Shvalov with that incredible one-handed save. Celtic had their moments but were generally underwhelming with the exception of McGregor, who was their outstanding player. They were without Carter Vickers, of course, and their replacement, Dane Murray, had a day to forget, but I think you guys may have a bit more to say on that. I look forward to your own thoughts and analysis. There we go. That's from my dad. Thank you for sending that in. And if you do want to email in, please do so at heartsonsleevespodcast@outlook.com. Okay, so Loan Watch this week, John. What's been happening around the country and further afield with Hearts players?
So Danda played for Dundee, obviously against Falkirk. Came on for about 20 minutes. Doesn't seem like he did much at all, to be honest. But I feel like that's been a bit of a trend with his loan move, so nothing unusual. I'll mention Lewis Nielsen as well. Obviously, he's got that bad injury, so looks like he'll probably be out till December, January earliest. Macaulay Tate. Obviously, Livy lost 2-1 to Motherwell. Tate did play 69 minutes, but I'm presuming you've seen the penalty as well. Not a clue what he was doing.
Oh no,
Yeah,
I've
that
not
was
seen that.
unreal. Oh, it was a bad one. Yeah.
His reaction after, though, just like he knows exactly what he's done as well.
Oh, it's-
Why did he do it?
Yeah, like I felt really bad for him after that, and he's basically sold the game for Livy with that one. But you know what? He's still young, and moments like these happen. In fact, they can happen 3 times in one game, as we witnessed on Sunday. So,
Next, we've got Bobby McLucky. Hamilton lost 2-1 to Queen of the South. Played 10 minutes as a sub. And didn't really seem like he's done too much, but can't say I'm an expert on Hamilton, so that's all I know. Then Montrose lost 3-0 to Cove Rangers. There was Sandilands and Gus Stevenson. Stevenson actually played the full 90, which I think is the first time he's done that since he's been out on loan. And Sandilands got 66 minutes, so more minutes for them. They seem to be quite... Well, Sandilands at least seems to be a regular for them, which is good. I was getting sick of saying that Kenzie Nair hasn't played for every loan watch, but he finally got some game time.
stop Kenzie.
I think it might be to do with an injury.
Oh, fair
He
enough.
came on,
Right?
he came on after 14 minutes, so I think the other player must have got injured. But he played the rest of the game when they won 2-1 against East Kilbride, so not bad for him. Stranraer beat Edinburgh City 3-1. We had Don Plank and Matt Gillies playing. Gillies played the full 90 for that for them, which again, another full 90, which is decent for us. And Plank only came on for 26 minutes. So, sort of bit part player at the moment for him. On to Forrester. He's came back in, actually, played 14 minutes as a sub. He came on for Liam Smith, obviously the right back that used to be us.
Yeah.
It's a weird one seeing that, because obviously I think he was away playing in Ireland or something like that.
Mhm.
And then he's come back and he's obviously dropped down. But kind of a bit worrying if he's getting ahead of, Forrest, in my opinion. But see what happens. And then obviously to the further away one, our boy Kenny Vargas. Still not scored a goal. Got 11 minutes in his last game. So
You missed it with
I don't think
McFarlane again, John.
was he not on my list? I need to add him on.
You got Adam. He's actually playing. Come on.
All right. And to Adam for Liam McFarlane's contribution for the week.
Liam McFarlane played for Alloa, 0-0 draw against Dinnismuir, so kept the clean sheet. He's now played 11 times for them already, started 11 games, so that's not bad going in October. I think he's seen as a decent prospect, so I think he deserves his place on loan watch ahead of Vargas and others, especially Vargas. But yeah, add him to your list, John. I keep having to mention him.
I bet you're not enjoying that at all.
I wasn't hoping that you weren't going to say it, so I could jump in.
So our two matches this week. First of all, we're away to St Mirren. There'll be 3 representatives of Hearts on Sleeves going to that one. And then we welcome Dundee in our home game. Be interesting to see what kind of reception Presley gets to that game. Both of them were defeated on Saturday. Dundee United dispatched St Mirren, a pretty poor result for St Mirren actually, beat them 3-1. And Falkirk, probably the most up and down team there is going, Dundee, from beating Celtic one week to losing to Falkirk the very next week. Never really know what to expect from them, although hopefully John can give us some guidance and advice on that. Let's start with St Mirren then. The big thing that came from that result, as far as we go, is that they've got a pretty notable suspension. John, do you want to talk us through that one?
Yeah, so Gogic is out suspended. When I was having a look at them, it looks like he's basically played pretty much every game for them. So I don't think he's missed a game since way back at the start of last season. It's a big loss for them. And it does seem like most of the time this season they played 3-5-2, and he tends to be in the middle. So, I mean, you wonder who they're going to bring in. Maybe they have got a backup, but it's a big loss from losing sort of their main centre back.
Gogic is one of those players I always really wanted us to buy, not because I want us to play him, but so we don't have to play against him. You just, like, I want us to do that thing, in Football Manager, Championship Manager, whatever you like to call it, where you buy a player and just bench them because you dislike them or don't want to play against them. He just always seems to turn up. Yeah, exactly. So he's one of those players, I don't know what it is. He just always seems to turn up when he's playing against us. So, I mean, that's really good news for us, to be honest, I think. We seem to have been doing pretty well for, we seem to be lucking out with other players' injuries at the moment, with Celtic, with Carter Vickers, and now this one. Any players that we should be still keeping an eye on, though, John?
Yeah, sorry, it's kind of hard to narrow it down because I feel they're quite a solid unit all round. But obviously put the keeper. We saw that obviously in League Cup. He's a good goalkeeper. And I thought the 2 strikers, they've got Ayunga and Mandron. They're just 2 big physical guys. I mean, you think obviously we've got Halkett and Finlay at the back. Should be a decent matchup, but just have to see on the day. And then I just put them in midfield. To be honest, again, they've got a very sort of physical midfield. It's quite strong. So it'd be interesting to see how because they usually play the 3 in midfield. Obviously, it'd be interesting to see what happens with Benny and Devlin. Playing against the 3 of them. Whether Shankly maybe drops a bit deeper, gives them a bit of support. Just have to wait and see. But yeah, I think their biggest weakness is their right hand side.
Join the club.
Everyone in the league this season.
But I think also it makes for quite interesting reading, looking at what formation and lineup we had when we played them last in the League Cup. So they went for a bit more of a 3-4-3 in that game, and so did we. So just to let you know what our lineup was that day, we had Clark in goals in the back three of Kent, Halkett and Finlay. Midfield, there was McEntee, Devlin, Magnuson and Milne. And then up front, you had Kabori, Shankland and Kizaridis. You have to imagine it'll be quite a different setup and lineup come this Wednesday.
It's pretty incredible how much the team has changed since August, middle of August, isn't it?
And how locked in it is now too.
It seems so much weaker at that. And at that point, we were making changes. Kabori and Magnuson coming in was a bit of a shock at that point, and obviously having Clark in goals. So it feels like we've got a much stronger potential starting lineup than we did.
Sorry to interrupt, by the way, but there's just been a tweet saying Rodgers has resigned.
Oh, is he?
It's from Fabrizio Romano.
Oh. That is big news.
Yeah, it's on Sky.
It's on BBC. It's on BBC. Yeah, he's gone.
Is it?
Are we Martin O'Neill for coming back in? What the hell? Martin O'Neill.
What year is this?
What year is it?
Martin O'Neill is a temporary return, but that could become permanent. I'd rather.
Is that actually what it's saying?
Yeah, that's too random a lie for me to come up with on the spot. Come on, Jamie. No, it says Martin O'Neill is temporary return to the club as his replacement. So presumably they're looking at someone else because Martin O'Neill is obviously I don't know, he's a bit older now, but I don't know if I'm happy. I kind of would. I'd rather Rodgers was staying, to be honest.
Oh, totally.
His heart's not in it. Yeah, he's going out. Rodgers is out before we win the league, though. He doesn't want to be the Celtic manager that lost the league, does he?
No.
Did you see who O'Neill's assistant is?
Sean Maloney.
Really?
He's rubbish.
Oh, wow.
Now, that tell you what, that's going to be really interesting when we play them in December. Wow.
Both Old Firm managers gone this season already. Amazing.
Can't handle the Hearts.
I know.
Indeed.
What happens once we start winning? Once we start winning the league, they'll be going through 5 managers a season.
Wait till we beat Aberdeen and Aberdeen as well. That'll be that telling gone. If he survives that long.
I hope he stays as well. He's another one I'd quite happily see stay for the season, to be honest.
I tell you what, that's we kind of talked about Rodgers signings. That's all going to be null and void now. But yeah, I really have no idea how I feel about that. But again, it just goes back to I've no idea what Martin O'Neill will be like now. We know that Sean Maloney's pish, so that's always good. But yeah, that'll be really interesting. But yeah, it just comes back to all we can do is just focus on our own game and our own results, really, isn't it? So we have that. Sorry, on you go.
Was O'Neill still involved? Was that seems such a random. Has he got any involvement with Celtic at the moment before this? Unless it seems like it's planned, isn't it, O'Neill? It's obviously they've obviously decided. It's not like Rodgers has resigned and like 5 minutes later you're bringing O'Neill in as temporary. It must have been something they'd planned for, right? Because he's not even. Is he even at? I don't even think he had any role at Celtic, did he? I don't know.
He's just been a pundit recently.
I mean, he's 73 now, so I can't see him. I'd be surprised if he became permanent manager. I reckon he's just there for a couple of weeks.
Maybe he's like Liam Fox. They've just got him on speed dial for when a manager gets sacked.
Yeah. It'll be like when David Gray gets sacked. They'll have to put David Gray on speed dial and give him a call to take temporary charge.
Well, that means for their signings though for January. Because obviously, I'm presuming Rodgers had some sort of plan of what he'd want.
I wonder if Martin O'Neill thinks that Sean Maloney's still playing.
Martin O'Neill, I remember just listening to a quote from him, I think it's probably just today, in fact, where he was basically talking up Hearts' chances of doing something in the league or potentially winning it. Actually speaking very complimentary about us. So yeah, it's a really interesting signing. I hope it's another Barry Ferguson at Rangers kind of dealio, where it's just brought in because he's a Celtic man or Rangers man, as the case was with Barry. And it just goes to pot.
I mean, it does say temporary, right? So we've got to
Yeah,
assume.
it is.
Although temporary, who knows how long that could be? Because
Exactly.
I think they'll go for Postecoglou again.
I mean, I wouldn't be genuinely. I wouldn't be surprised. But it's very much dependent on whether Big Ange has any sort of gardening leave type deal with his previous club. But yeah, there was kind of rumours of that for a while. So we'll see in due course. Again, I don't know how I'd feel about that because obviously, he did phenomenally well. Eventually, he was quite poor when he first came in actually at Celtic, but I think they were kind of in a sort of rebuilding time, which is, well, I suppose what he'd be coming back into if he did come back now. But he's been, other than the European Cup run with Tottenham, he's been a bit of a failure really in English football. How do people feel if Ange came back to Celtic?
Bring it back for the banter, Mike.
It's a different team, but I suppose the other thing is like, who's going to want to take the job in the minute? Because like, if we continue to keep performing and continue to potentially like at the weekend, if we can go 11 points clear, my manager's kind of got to come in, pick up a team that's not in good form, chasing already. Don't want to come in and be the Celtic manager, like Adam said earlier, Celtic manager that loses the league. That's going to play on some people's minds.
yeah, there's protests and everything as well.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a tough time for both Old Firm clubs to bring someone in. I would be a little bit more concerned if they brought Ange back in. I'd rather Rodgers had stayed, to be honest, but it's hard to predict, isn't it? I would rather they just kept Rodgers for the season, but I don't think that was particularly likely.
It just bring Martin O'Neill in just seems such to try and calm the fans down kind of decision by the board. Bring in an old fan favourite. It's just exactly like what Rangers did. They brought in a fan favourite to try and calm things down. Even if the performances aren't great, they know they've got someone there that they all love. The fans all love. So he'll have that bit of leeway. If he doesn't hit the ground running with results, he'll have, which I hope he doesn't. Then he will get some more time. But again, if Ange will be one of those ones that would be a fan favourite. So I wouldn't be at all surprised, given the amount of pressure that Celtic board have been under, that they go down that route.
I don't think Big Ange would be put off either because he went and worked for that nutcase Marinakis at Forest. So even
very good point.
Even the thought of not winning the league with Celtic, I don't think that'd bother him either.
No.
I don't know. It's a bit different for obviously worried about an owner or board to being the first Celtic manager to lose the league to a team other than Rangers in so long. Like, what does that sort of do to his record? Obviously, what he's done before at Celtic. Would you want to have that marker against him, especially after coming off the back of being sacked by Spurs, being sacked by Forest, in quick succession? Would you want to do it again, or would you want to have another bad season?
He may want a bit of a break as well, right?
Yeah.
Does he want to jump straight back into another job? Tons of pressure. Not an easy one either.
Yeah. So some Celtic fans have put in the comments being like Neil Lennon. They can
I
have
was
him.
going to say Neil Lennon. I thought it was too silly to say.
That would be brilliant if he came back mid-table with them firmly. I'd be happy with that. Yeah. Oh yeah, that would just be winning the league with Lennon in charge for Celtic. He'd implode.
Oh my God, the bam up opportunities for that. Oh, that'd be joyous.
I mean, honestly, when we played Dunfermline in the League Cup, he just couldn't help himself, Lennon. He was just properly given out to the Hearts fans when they equalised. And he's just, for some reason, he decided to wear the thickest long winter jumper in the boiling hot sun. He's such a weird guy, Anyway, right. Enough about Celtic. let's go and have a look at the Dundee game. John, what have you got for us?
So, quite similar to St Mirren, they play 3 at the back as well, but it looks like it's more of a 3-4-3. I couldn't really pick out too many from their team that are decent, to be honest. I mean, obviously, the season they've had kind of sort of shows that, but the main one, I don't know if any of you watched the Celtic game, but you would have seen their, I think it's right winger. His name's Congreve.
Congreve, yeah. He looks a class
Yeah.
act, actually. He looks really good.
Yeah, and obviously he's quite quick, can go on either side, plays with both feet. I was thinking that that's probably going to be quite a key matchup for them, him against Kingsley. Obviously, Kingsley's been really solid, but he's not exactly the quickest. So I wonder how that would obviously go. Apart from that, I just put, it's literally so basic. Simon Murray can score. He's obviously proven he can score goals. And then the other one I've been quite impressed with is their centre back, Astley. I think he looks quite a solid player. I think he's quite young as well, but been impressed when I've seen him play.
So what changes do you think might happen this week then? So if we're going with the assumption that will pretty much be the same for Wednesday, who would you bring, or is there anyone you'd switch around for that game on Saturday? Like I say, we assume Dundee won't pose as much of as a problem or a threat as St Mirren, so it might give us a bit more leeway to bring in some of the players who've primarily been limited to substitute appearances. Who'd you like to see, or who'd you expect to see come in then? Adam, I'll come to you first.
So, first of all, are we assuming exact same... I mean, I'm assuming exact same starting lineup midweek, and then the Dundee... I could see... The main one I could potentially see is Azure coming in for Dundee. I can't see major changes. I think we're going to stick... If we beat St Mirren, I can't see us making many more changes than that, to be honest.
What about yourself, Trunter? Is there anyone you'd like to see more of, or someone you expect to see turn up on, well, either Wednesday or Saturday that typically hasn't been getting a game?
I think maybe on Saturday I'd be really keen to see, like Adam, a Jew in there, but it's good you drop Benny. I'd say it'd have to be Benny rather than Cammy, and just see how he gets on, because it's like, yeah, I'm still finding that's like this wee exciting thing that we've got at our club that's like, is he going to be good? And I really want to have a look at him and see, because it does seem a shame to break up, like Benny and Cammy at the moment, but I've just got this feeling he's going to be the mustard. We've got to get him in somehow.
John, I suppose for me, I could imagine Magnuson coming on. Seems a bit less, I'm not saying it's risky, bringing a Joe coming on for Benny. But it still gives you that bit more of that defensive, and it's less of a change to go from Devlin and Magnuson than it is to Devlin and Ajo, you'd have to imagine. What are your thoughts, either within the midfield or in any different positions?
For Wednesday, there's a couple of things I was thinking. One was, obviously they're quite physical team, maybe push McEntee into midfield. I don't know who would maybe drop out. Maybe someone further forward that maybe, obviously Kizarides looked like he had pulled up with a bit of cramp or something in the game. Maybe he didn't fit enough. Maybe you just go Shanks and Bragg up top and put 3 in midfield. Or I know Milne effectively plays like he's a right wing back or whatever, but maybe he drops back. I don't know. But maybe a bit more physicality with McEntee in the middle just to sort of combat their midfield could be possible. For Dundee, I wonder if we'd maybe change the formation, like go like a flat 4 at the back, maybe bring in a couple, like put 3 in the middle, Benny, Devlin, and the Jew, or go a bit more attacking really because it's Dundee.
Controversial, but I wouldn't mind seeing Spittle get back and having a shout. He's not been phenomenal every time he's come, but he's been pretty solid for us. I'm not saying put him in the starting lineup, but I wouldn't mind seeing him come on just to give other people a rest and to give him a bit of a chance again. He's also pretty decent from a set piece as well. So
yeah, I think
wouldn't
it all depends on injuries, doesn't it? For fatigue anyway from Wednesday, who plays, I reckon. It's obviously 3 games in 6 days, or 7 days. It's not going to be. There's going to be a few players I think that'll end up struggling, but you might see it more in second halves or something, like more subs.
Yeah, I mean, I'd completely forgot about Kizurida's kind of hobbling off, so that might be a bit of a question mark over him. It might give any one of our, you could anyone from Kurjota to, as you say, a slight change in midfield, allowing different players to come into different positions. We'll see. There's definitely options there, and it'll be interesting to see how McInnes decides to set up his team for both the games. Okay, so we'll do our 2 quizzes to round things off then. John, you have got 2 players, both of which have played for Hearts at some point, but there's another team that connects them as well. Can you give us those players?
Yes, I've gone for a player that's played recently. So first one is Barry Mackay. A big fan favourite for some people.
Has he signed for anyone yet?
Nope.
So, and then the other one is Egert Johnson.
Oof.
Woofed.
Bloody hell! Really?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think who Mackay played for when he went down south. Did he play for someone like Swansea or something like that? I'll just make that. I'll just make that my guess. Swansea.
He did play for Swansea, but I'll say it's not Swansea.
Right.
It is an English team. I'll give you that.
Is it Wolves?
No.
No.
Obviously, Johnson did play for them, but
yeah,
Barry Mackay.
Didn't think very hard about that one there, but that's all I could come up with.
Crystal Palace.
No.
Watford. Nottingham Forest.
I'm trying to think.
Burnley.
Let me see if I can get it.
Wait, when was it? No, that's going to help. Actually, that won't help.
Just trying to check what league they're in. I think you can get it from this. The team's name is the start of the name of a band. Well, that'd be easy. If not. But I was going to give you a better team.
Slipknot Wednesday. Name of a band.
The start of a name of a band. One word.
Yeah, the band's name's 2. The team name is something then. Actually, I could give you that. Maybe it's something town.
Ipswich.
They play in red and white.
Crawley?
No, they're in League 2 at the moment.
This is the worst one yet for us. This is getting embarrassing.
Luton? No.
League 2 town.
Huddersfield.
That's a good band.
I'd imagine that is your band name. Bloody hell.
Grimsby.
No, I feel like we might have played them in a friendly a couple years ago.
What? We played them? Mansfield?
Nah.
That's a good band, Mansfield.
Do you want me to try and work out when it was they played for?
That's not going to help.
I think you could say the name of the team and we wouldn't get it at this point. What's the first letter?
Okay. It begins with F.
Fleetwood. Town.
Yep.
Actually, that is a good quiz. That was really. We needed to do the quiz at the start. This is when everyone's getting tired, right?
That's our excuse. They're sticking by it.
That's got to be the most quiz ever needed for one answer. John could have shown us the map and said, "This is the." Honestly, that was just. I actually don't know what Fleetwood is.
Zero recollection either of them for Fleetwood either.
So are Fleetwood Mac from Fleetwood? Jamie's quiz.
So I'll tell you the question first, and then
we take it in turns.
You shall take it in turns, yeah. But I'll give you the question first, and then you can tell me how many lives you want each. I think this is quite a difficult one. So there are 14 players that have played for Hearts that have got caps for African nations. How many lives do you want for this?
3.
3 lives. Fine. Right. Who's to start them?
Me.
Fine. And bonus points if you can name the country as well. Right, off you go, Trunter.
David Abua.
Correct. Can you name the country and how many caps you got?
Oh my Christ, I can't remember the country now. We were just talking about it last week.
We were just talking about it last week, correct.
I think you even said it. You don't get my points. Oh, bollocks. No. Wait. It's gone.
Uganda.
It's gone.
Uganda. Can you guess how many caps?
Trunter?
23.
36 and 16 goals. Not bad at all.
Yeah.
Okay. Right, Adam, we'll go to you next.
Larry Kingston, Ghana.
Yes, indeed. How many caps and goals for bonus?
Last time, was it like 29 caps and 4 goals?
37 caps and 6 goals, so we're miles off.
Yeah.
Right, John, over to you.
Arnaud Hume from Cameroon.
That's the one. That rhymed quite nicely, didn't it?
I checked after last time. I think he had either 23 or 27 caps, but I can't remember exactly.
Neither. 28. No goals.
Close.
Well done. You got through all of your first round of them without using any of your lives. We go on to the next round of them. Trunter, go for it.
Benny.
1 life gone. No, he's not been capped, which is mental, given what a good player he is.
Is he English? But eligible for another country?
Yeah, he's eligible for Congo or something, isn't it?
Yeah. He's never managed to get himself a cap. So 1 life gone for you, Trunter. Adam, over to you.
I'm going to go for the guy I guessed last... Well, I didn't guess. So the guy I said last time, Race Maboli, however you pronounce it, Algeria. And it was like 110 caps or something based on what I looked up last time.
All right, well, London Hearts has them at 96 caps, so maybe...
It was something massive anyway.
Okay, John?
This is getting hard, by the way.
I know.
I've got 2, but I'm not too sure. Is it like while they played for us, they got the caps, or is it just could be after or what? I don't know if one of them.
Yeah, it doesn't matter when he got his caps.
I don't know which one to go for. I'll go for Sibic for Uganda.
Oh yeah, I mean, actually, funny enough, he's not on this list. So, but you're absolutely correct. I do remember him getting that. So this list is obviously out of date. But you're right. Well done.
I only know that because he did a live stream that got put on like Twitter, and it was when he was with Uganda on international duty, and he was like, "Oh, those Hibs fans are weirdos" or something like that. I just remember that being funny. Stuck in my mind. I couldn't tell you how many caps. I guess like 10 or something. Can't be there for that long.
Let's find out. He has 3 caps. So well done, Toby. Okay, right. Trunter, back to you. I mean, there's definitely some here you'll know, 100%.
Mehdi Taoul was Moroccan.
Well done, that's right. Just a single cap. Just a single cap, but it's right. Well done. Right, Adam, you next.
Gomez?
Gomez, you're right. Again, just a single cap for Senegal.
Oh, okay. I just thought of that. I was almost out of that, by the way. Suddenly, it's because I don't know why I got it, but
Fine. If you get,
sorry,
that's right. I was going to say if you get stuck, I can give you countries, and that might get things moving for you. You'll know most of these. There's maybe 1, maybe 2 that you'll struggle with, but okay, John, over to yourself.
I'm going to follow that trend. I'm going to say Prince Blaven.
Correct. Well done.
one.
No.
I'm thinking
I
it was
wasn't
a
thinking that until you said it.
You only think that's why. You know when I was saying when I got him, I was gonna say I got him because I was thinking of Jim and midfielders, but then I didn't want to say that because I was like, then John's gonna say Blaven because you don't think of Gomez without Blaven for some reason, right?
And he got a cap for Ghana. Okay, Trunter, do you want to see if you can think of any others?
I thought Mary Towell might have got more caps than that, and the only one I can think of, and I don't think he was ever capped, was Ibrahim Tal.
Good one.
Well
Very good one.
done. Very
He's
good one. You're
Senegal as
right.
well, right? No.
He was
Was he
sent.
capped?
Yeah, he was Senegal and got 6 caps for.
Excellent.
Okay,
It was
Adam,
pretty
you're
good.
up. Once it comes back to you, Trunter, I'll let you know what countries they're still remaining. 'Cause we're not down to that many now.
I feel like I could get one if I had long enough. African countries.
I mean, there's countries that have. I think there's one country that's already been mentioned. I'd say that much. Do you want me just to give the
Has
remaining
anyone
countries?
anyone else got one?
I think I've got 3 or 4 that are like possibles.
Okay. All right. Well, in that case,
One that I definitely think is,
Wait,
and
I
it's
need-
because he played in the World Cup
fine.
before he signed for us. Juwon Oshiniwa. Remember, he was
Correct.
unbelievable.
Ridiculous.
Well done. Very good.
Well played.
Nigeria, 18 caps. Right.
I don't think he played. Did he actually play professionally for anyone apart from us? No, seriously, I'm sure I've looked him up before, and he just appeared out of nowhere.
Let's have a look.
I remember we signed him from. I just remember him appearing.
Yeah, I
Right.
mean, yeah. To be fair, right. It says other clubs. Started off at Quara United, then Lobby Stars, then Sharks, then Ashdod before he came to us, then Aqua United.
All right, okay. Ashdod, actually, no.
Okay, so I'll tell you the remaining countries.
Oh no, John's got more.
Oh yeah,
Well,
sorry.
you want to try some more? These ones are way more unlikely. It's just players that I can think of that might be possible. Dikamona. I don't know if he ever actually got any international caps, but
Well done. He did. He got 4 caps. Country, can you think of it?
Nah.
I'll give you a clue. It's a country where they drink umbongo.
Oh, right.
No.
That's a
Not
wee
a clue.
throwback. That's a wee throwback one. Do you remember that advert?
John will not know
No,
that.
that's
Right.
yep. So correct. Next one.
Again, these are getting a bit more risky, but Faiso Reras. Do you ever get any?
Well done.
Yeah,
Yeah.
John, you're amazing at this one.
2 caps for Morocco.
This one, I don't even know if he was actually from an African country or if it was he was dual citizenship. But it's that guy we got on loan from Stoke. It was El Chule or something. El Chulai.
Oh yeah, I know the guy you mean.
I don't know if he ever would because he was young when he came to us, but
El Hasnoui.
He had 3 caps, but for the Moroccan under-23 team. So
Close, though. Not bad. Doesn't count, but it's close.
oh my god, I've just thought of one. Kabore.
Oh, for God's sake.
correct.
Oh my God.
It's one of those ones, though, isn't it? It's like
Yeah, you don't even.
you always look through the past rather than what we've got at the present. Do you want me to give you any of the other remaining countries? Have you got any more, John?
How many players are left?
That's all I had.
There's 3 left. So the countries, I mean, these are solid. Well, there's one you could still get. The Algeria one, I think you've definitely got a chance of.
Is there a Nigerian in there?
Bouzid is correct. Well done. 13 caps for them.
Myself a tiny bit here.
Then, okay, so he's born in Switzerland, but he ended up getting 11 caps for Angola. Initials.
Katongo? Nah, he's Portugal or something. Was it Katongo? Did he play for Angola? Katongo.
Oh, that's a good point actually, because he's not actually
Yeah.
on this.
He was in Portugal first, but he wasn't Switzerland. Born in
He's
Switzerland.
from Angola, but he
Yeah.
never got a cap. No. Um.
Sorry, so
So
Swiss born Angolan. What position?
midfielder. JA initials.
Oh, Joe
I might have one.
Dal.
Well
Shakim Dal.
done. Well done. Yeah.
Who?
Joaquim Madau.
Really
Oh,
good on loan for I think maybe
10
10
games.
games.
Yeah.
Yeah,
was
he
that when
looks.
I was in London? Because I always forget those guys. That's my blind spot.
Yeah,
He was
really
another.
good.
He was like Devlin on crack with the yellow cards, like every game.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was never boring. Final one, Guinea-Bissau.
What years did he play for Hearts?
So he signed in January 2017, actually, and was sold a year later. So it's January 2017, and then sold in January 2018.
John, you're better at that time than me.
Nah, I could only think. I was thinking the striker. What's his name? Dowda or something, but that's obviously he's not a midfielder.
That was my fucking guess.
What's the first
Because he's
letter?
Nigerian.
Oh,
The initials or whatever.
EG. Other Scottish teams he's played for after us were Livingston and Raith Rovers. He did have a brief loan spell 5 years before he joined us, or 4 years before he joined us at St Mirren.
It's in Mirren.
I don't get this. Nothing's even coming to my mind.
I think you're going to kick yourself.
Really? E.G.
Smil. Oh, that's not. He's not basically Portuguese. I'm getting Galvez.
Yeah.
Goncalves is correct.
I had no idea the nation didn't help him at all.
No,
Only the-
Oh no, it helped for Blizzard because
yeah, that one. Yeah,
for some reason I wasn't always thinking of like the kind of Arabic countries, you know. But then when I heard Algeria, it makes you think of that region.
I just thought Goncalves was like Portuguese or something. I don't know why.
Yeah, I guess that must be a Portuguese name though, right? Because Jose was Portuguese.
To be fair, it's because I think he was like always known as like Isma as well, wasn't it? It wasn't really like
Yeah.
Goncalves.
Yeah.
I was hoping Katongo would have got a cap at some point, but
That was
But nah,
decent.
John annihilated us in that one, I would say.
Well, that's it for this week, folks. Thanks, as always, for listening. Before you join us next week, please do like, subscribe, comment, review, anything like that to either the podcast channel that you're listening to or the YouTube. We also ask that you please do join us on our socials. We're on Instagram and we're also on X and we're on Blue Sky. We look forward to seeing you next week. Hopefully it's another 2 wins for the Jambos and a further 6 points. Have a great week, everyone. We'll see you soon. Bye for now.